Ugh, that's been driving me crazy for days. That's a little bit better. Hey guys, how's it going? Thank you so much for tuning in to this installment of Mike's Vehicle Vlogs. And recently I thought it would be kind of cool to make a video just kind of going off of some comments that were on some videos in regards to my personal vehicle, which is the 2011 Ford Escape XLT. And a lot of people throughout some various videos that I've made on my car kind of wanted to know, how much I like the car and, stuff along those lines. So what I actually thought about doing now is I'm just going to kind of give you my honest pros and cons of owning the 2011 Ford Escape XLT. Before I go into this list, I honestly don't have a whole lot to complain about when it comes to this car. This is honestly probably one of, as of right now, it's definitely one of my most favorite cars that I've ever had. And, I've had it for a little over a year and a half now. I haven't really had any issues with it other than replacing the fan speed regulator. Or resistor, the fan speed resistor, which was a really easy fix. It was like $20-some. It's located right behind the glove box. You don't have to dig a whole lot to find it and replace it. So that was a pretty easy fix. I don't consider that to be anything major. So that was just, the chances of having one of those go out are very slim. But a couple of months ago, I did have to make my very first major repair, which was the cat hair everywhere, which was the half shaft on the driver's side. There was a bad, it's actually a common issue if you didn't see the video. It's a common issue on this generation Escape. It's a piece that goes into the transmission and obviously turns the entire axle. But the original part was not machined well, so it corrodes, and you can actually see it on the older one. There's score marks all the way around it. So that actually cuts into the seal and you start leaking transmission fluid. So I had to order a kit from Motorcraft, and I had the entire half shaft and the seals and bushings replaced. So that overall, luckily I had help doing it myself. If I had to take it to a shop or the dealer, it would have been a lot of money. But either way, that's probably going to be the first major issue that I've had with this car since I've had it, and that's amazing. And we got it fixed. So as of right now, I haven't had any issues with it. We did have to replace it twice because the original bushing that we put in, we couldn't get in far enough, so we had to come up with a new technique. This was a couple days after the original fix, which again is documented, and I haven't had any issues with it since, so we finally got it right. So yeah, as of right now, mechanically, the Escape's good. Real quick though, I do want to let you guys know how many miles at the moment I've put on the Escape since I've driven it off the dealership lot. And right now, we are sitting at, overall the entire car has 80,298.5 miles on the odometer. And I have driven it 13,681.1 as of right now. So, you know, almost 14,000 miles of ownership. And here's what I've got to really say about the car. Okay, now I know there was like a speck of bird poop on the hood. It's been there for days. But overall, the car doesn't need washed, and I'll probably be able to do it this weekend. It's supposed to be pretty decent. So to kind of start it off, you know, before I get into the list again, when I was interested in looking for an Escape of this generation, this was really the color of the Escape that I wanted, and I also wanted the charcoal interior, which mine has. It's kind of hard to find these steel blue metallic models with the charcoal interior. A lot of times you get like the tan interior. I'm not sure what the exact name of the interior is if it's not tan, but the lighter color. But the steel blue metallic with the charcoal interior is what I was going for. So this ideally was already my perfect match for this Escape. It's also got a lot of the options that I would have wanted, or that I did want, and nothing that actually sends it, you know, overboard. So I really liked it, like the idea of it, you know, having all these features but not being completely, like, there's nothing here in this car that I don't use. You know, if I got something a little over the top, you know, I probably wouldn't use every feature, but this is well equipped in my opinion. I'm very satisfied with it. So let's start off with the power plant. My Escape is equipped with the 2.5 liter dual overhead cam 4-cylinder. It is the Duratec engine, and this engine has pros and cons. More importantly, the pro would be that it is very fuel efficient compared to anything else that I've driven. So it really does get good gas mileage for what I use it for. And you know, for it being a 4-cylinder, you know, pulling this, you know, SUV, which is not necessarily a full-size SUV, but it is a pretty decent sized vehicle. The 4-cylinder really doesn't do bad at actually, you know, pulling this thing to speed. So that's another pro there, is I'm happy with, you know, overall the fuel economy that this thing has provided me. And you got to think too, I'm comparing this to the big V6 engine that I had in my previous you know, Grand Prix. But this thing is amazing on gas, which is another reason why I wanted the 4-cylinder version, to improve my gas usage. So there's that, and like I said, it really doesn't do a bad job at bringing the car to speed, especially in passing. I don't have a problem if I'm on the highway and I have to pass really quick. You know, if I stomp on it, it actually will bring the Escape to its new speed fairly quickly. Now the only con that I really have with this engine is when the air conditioning is on, it does feel heavier. So you know, a lot of times if the air conditioning's on, I kind of have to push a little more gas into it to get it to go. So the air conditioner condenser, or not the condenser, but the compressor, you know, it does add some weight to the engine when it's on. It also vibrates a little more, but the vibration really doesn't bother me too much, so I'm just kind of neutral with that. But that's it. So overall, I'm happy with the 4-cylinder, and that's really all I have to say. I know it's getting dark, but another pro that I like about this Escape is the fact that everything is pretty easy to maintenance. So I'm trying to look underneath right now. It's getting a little dark, but you can see the oil pan right here. The plug is right on the other side. So you know, I can actually, well, I'm in a weird spot, but I was gonna say I could probably actually touch the oil pan there. But anyway, So the oil plug is just right behind this pan here on the other side. The oil filter is this red thing right here. Even the transmission fluid, to drain it out, there's this plastic piece here. You just fold that up and the plug's underneath. So it's really easy to get to all those. You don't have to crawl too far under the vehicle. You don't even have to jack the vehicle up. And I like that. I like the fact that I could just get under there with all the tires on the ground and not have to go in too far. As far as everything else under the hood, like the batteries here, it's not being covered up by anything. It's easy to get to the air box. I mean, just everything in general is, you know, pretty simple to get to. So that's another pro. I think doing maintenance on the car is actually quite easy. Now I'm going to shoot to this real quick before it gets too dark, but one of the cons that I have, and this is another common problem, and this just showed up just recently, but I'm getting the bubbling paint on this rear quarter panel, and you can tell already that it's coming through. And like I said, this is a recent development. This is something that is known on these Escapes also, so you can see how this is, you know, it's it's flexing, it's bent. I know I live in Ohio where the winters are very salty and slushy, and all those chemicals and stuff that they use in the road salt, not very healthy for your car. But I'm usually really good at keeping this car clean, and you know, I had noticed you know, a couple months ago that this, you know, was here, and I've been trying to keep up with it as far as keeping it clean, specifically every time I wash the car. But it was right around the time that we did the repair to the half shaft, I noticed that it was bubbling, and just a couple of days ago the actual spot showed up. So I'm actually going to look to see what I can do, how much it'll cost to replace that or fix this, get it repainted, and, you know, whatever. The other side's not doing it yet. I think there's a little bit here on the inside, but as you can see, it is still perfectly clear. Nope, I lied. Hold on, this might be one right here. Oh, my camera's not focusing, I'm sorry. There we go. Might have the start of one right there. Possibly. But it looks a lot better than the other side. So that's a con. I'm not very happy about that, but if I catch it now, maybe it won't be too expensive to repair. Another pro feature that I love about this car is the security code keypad, and I have used this on many occasions when I have to run out and get something out of the car, but I don't know, or I don't have my keys on me. So I just walk out here and I put in the code. You know, it lights up, you know, at night when you either push one of the buttons, or if you open the door handle if it's, you know, unlocked. But that thing's a really nifty feature. I just enter in the code and it either unlocks or locks it for me. So that's a pro. I have the XLT model, which is one step above the base model, and this one came equipped with a lot of nice features. Features that, again, I don't think are over the top. I think it's perfect the way it is. So, you know, I've got automatic headlamps, I've got the driver information display, the sunroof, what else? The steering wheel is leather wrapped. You know, it's got cruise, it's got the audio controls on the steering wheel, power, everything, pretty much. But one thing that I absolutely enjoy having in this car is the Microsoft Sync system. And, you know, I was really excited to finally have a vehicle that has the sync, and I basically just, I was really excited to get to learn more about this system and how it functions and everything. So I mean, I don't have my phone on me, but it looks like it's still connected to my phone. So, you know, it automatically will connect to my phone when I get into the car. I can make phone calls from the stereo system. I can answer calls. You know, it's got voice command. But more importantly, you know, I also love the idea of having the USB drive and the auxiliary input jack. Now, I've never really used the auxiliary input jack because I have the flash drive, but the flash drive, you know, allows me to have all my music, you know, as much as I can put on to the flash drive, basically. But all of my music is basically on here, and it's really nice because even though I'm a CD person, and I love my CDs, you know, I used to keep all of my CDs in the car. I had big books of CDs. I would leave them on the seat or in the back, you know, and I always worried about, you know, what if somebody broke into my car and actually took my CDs and such, you know. And plus, it's just a pain when you're driving and you want to change songs, and you can't really do that if you're, you know, CDs, I mean. So it's just a lot easier having it digitally, I guess. So I keep all of my favorites on the flash drive, basically, and every now and then I'll rotate something and take something off. But I think the Microsoft Sync is an awesome feature, and I'm excited to have a vehicle with it. Or you know, I was really excited when I first got it. So very useful. I think it makes driving a lot safer, just in general. So that, for me, is a pro. Now, one con that I can say is the glove box. The glove box is very small. Can't really put a lot in the glove box. I eat a lot of food, fast food, so I have napkins in there. But compared to the glove box that I had in the Grand Prix had a very large glove box, and this, you know, there's nothing to this glove box. So that's kind of a small con for me. There is, however, a lot of storage in this thing. You know, when you open it up, there's a tray in here. Plus you have the, you know, you can put some CDs down in this. And this whole thing actually comes out. You can put more things under there if you wanted to. Plus these things are cool because you can kind of set them in these slots here. You know, you can have, well, I can't do it now, but you can have it hang off the side there. You can have them hang in the back. Let's see if I can get it in there. There, like that. So I can have the tray sit like that. Same with this. This will go there, or vice versa. So I thought that was a very nifty feature to this generation Escape, was having this little configurable center console storage tray. So this was a pro. Definitely. I can't get that in there now. There we go. So that's a pro. Okay, so I'm starting to get the dark now, so sorry, but one nice thing about the back are the seats. You know, obviously you can fold them. You pull up on the front, it unlocks it like that. You tilt this forward like so, and then obviously there's the actual floor of the car. And then you pull on this side tab here and bring that down. Now obviously you have to take the headrests out first, which, not a big inconvenience. You just want to make sure you put them somewhere where they're not going to get destroyed, you know. But then once that's done, you've got your floor for all your larger objects in tow. Another cool thing, and this kind of goes with the easy maintenance, is in this carpet here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's an outline. And if you open up this outline, you can open up the floor, and look, there's your fuel pump access. So if you open this up, you can probably get to the fuel pump, and you don't have to drop the tank, from my opinion. So that's probably the fuel sending unit. This is probably the wires that go to the you know, the fuel gauge and such. So that's, in my opinion, again, pretty nifty. Easy access.
Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned it, but you can actually remove the seat bottoms completely by releasing these tabs here, and you can slide it out and actually pull them out of the car. I haven't done that yet. Probably won't ever really need to. Another pro, in my opinion, is not only do you have the entire liftgate that'll come up, but you can have just the glass. And in some occasions where you just want to grab something real quick, you know, like, you know, I'll get my gym bag, you know, I'll just open up the glass and grab the bag, and, you know, off I am. So I think the glass is pretty nifty. I've heard horror stories of the glasses shattering in the cold if they're closed too tightly, so either way, I always try to make sure that I'm closing them gently. I mean, it is glass. Okay, and then of course there's all the storage space in the back cargo area. So the nice thing about this, these are my winter mats. I just keep them in here in the summer after I rinse them off and stuff, but my Escape has this optional wet trunk under this carpet. So it's actually a very cool feature. You can store various things in there. I keep a lot of my cleaning stuff in there, as well as the jumper cables. The lid comes off for easier access to whatever is in there. So that is a pro for me. You can also lock it. There's a small thing here. If you had a tiny like luggage padlock, you can lock that so that way, you know, nobody can get into your wet trunk, I guess. This car has the easy fuel, so there's no cap. You just, this little thing here seals the fuel filler, and you just put your nozzle in there and fill up. So you don't have to worry about losing a cap or replacing a cap. So that's, I do like that. So that's a pro for me.
Alright guys, so overall I hope I, you know, answered more of your questions in regards to the pros and the cons of the, you know, the Escape. Overall, I love driving it. I think it handles nicely. It's a comfortable ride. The seats are firm. I need tires. The tires are getting pretty thin, so I do need tires, and I'm only expecting the ride quality to improve once the new tires are replaced. So I'm trying to get that done, you know, soon when I can. So yeah, like I said, I'm just really happy with owning this particular Escape. It has served me well thus far. No major issues. You know, just that half shaft and this thing here. I might need to replace, I think it's a stabilizer link, which is on, I think it's coming from this side. It's actually something really minor, but when you hit a bump, it kind of sounds like a more serious issue. I found a video on that. That's also an easy process to replace. So we'll probably do that in the future, but it's not a big deal to me right now. It still drives just fine. And that is really all I have to say. So I love the Escape. Like I told you in the beginning, more pros than cons. I am happy with it. Definitely one of the better cars that I've ever had. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And also check out Mike's Vehicle Spotlight if you haven't already. That is my official vehicle touring segment that I post on this channel. I am going to go out and film this weekend, so this first video that I'm going to be making here, I don't know by the time this airs if it's going to be out yet or not, but I'm going to start the new editing procedure and hopefully make MVS better and informative. But I want to be the best. I want these to be the best MVS features that you guys will see. So we're working on it. And if you happen to be stopping by this channel for the first time, welcome. Hopefully you're enjoying the content that's here. Again, don't forget to subscribe. If you want to keep up with these videos, because I know YouTube is kind of being weird as far as the all the subscribers getting the updates on new videos and stuff, there's a little bell icon next to your subscribe button, and if you click the bell icon to highlight that, you will get push notifications to let you know when one of these videos are being uploaded. So do that if you haven't already, and welcome if you're watching this for the first time. So I'm gonna go in now. It's getting dark outside, and I will see you guys next time. So thanks for watching. Take care.